Wonderful, wonderful color.
Walt Disney presents
The wonderful world of color.
this week from Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color, Part 2 of The Mooncussers. This episode, Wake of Disaster. And now your host, Walt Disney.
Almost everybody tends to think of a pirate as a swashbuckling scoundrel with a cutlass on his hip, a patch on his eye, and larceny on his mind. And that's a pretty good description of an all-around general-purpose pirate, the kind who used to prowl on the high seas flying the Jolly Roger, looking for merchant ships to plunder. But there were other kinds of pirates in the good old days, cutthroats who lived on the shore and let the merchant vessels come to them to be looted. They were called Mooncussers. And last week, we saw how they got that name.
A band of pirates on the land no longer sail the sea, but they sank a fleet of merchantmen with cutthroat treachery. The Mooncussers cussed the moon when it was shining bright, 'cause the Mooncussers' dirty work could only be done on a black and moonless night. They lit false beacons on the shore, luring ships to grief, then took their plunder from the wrecks abandoned on the reef. She's heading in! The Mooncussers cussed the moon when it was shining bright, 'cause the Mooncussers' dirty work could only be done on a black and moonless night. Mr. Hawk!
She's hard the ground, breaking up fast.
My ship! What have you done?
Big ship! Big ship up on the reef! Big ship on the reef! Gotta bust up for sure, big ship! She's on the reef! Big ship! She's gone aground! Big ship! Big ship! Big ship aground! She's busting up for sure! Big ship, she's busting up! Come on, Betsy! Big ship on the reef!
Betsy, baskets, put things in. Jonathan, blankets.
Yeah, Ma.
And bandages. Medicines. Wrap it.
Are you the mate, sir?
Aye, lad. First mate your ass Hawk off the Jubilee. Or so I was. Till them dirty, rotten Mooncussers beached us.
All right, men. Now listen to me. We'll stay here until morning. Then you'll have to make your way back to New York the best way you can.
All right.
all be paid off in full at the home office of the Hallett Shipping Line. That's all.
What we gonna do?
Old Hallett get one look either of us. Wind up on a yard arm.
More than 10 years, though. Maybe he wouldn't recognize us.
He ain't gonna forget us, not in 100 years.
How do we get our pay?
You just cut your jib. Leave me chart the course.
After all, Captain, you're not the first one to lose a ship to the Mooncussers. I imagine they all felt just as bad as you do.
Madam, nobody could feel as badly as I do. Unless they had to face old E.P. Hallett and tell him that they had just lost one of his ships.
Your mate thought it was Montauk. What? Where were you, Captain Weeks?
I wasn't feeling well.
All right, let's talk to the mate. Get him in here.
He's still down there at Feathers Wharf.
He's still down there.
No, Father.
Well, he didn't feel able to travel. He took quite a beating in the surf. He wanted to know if you would send his pay down there to him.
Work all your life. Try to build up something. This is what comes of it. Who was your mate?
Urias Hawk. Signed him on in Charleston along with this friend of his, Bill Stacy. They're both down there together at Feathers Wharf.
Do seem like you'd be a mite more happy about meeting your old shipmates after all these years, eh?
Well, I am. I'm happy.
I gives you credit. And I've said it before. You always was more smart than you was likable.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
What's the things you need to operate this Mooncussers, eh? Small boats, so you can get out to a sinking ship and rip off the cargo before she goes under.
You're just imagining things.
Who's going to be asking questions if you ships out barrels and cakes from a fishery? Eh? You got the boats? You got the warehouse?
Well, I'm an honest man now. What is it you want?
It ain't a question of what we want, Mr. Wick. We are old friends. We come along to help you.
I can imagine.
It ain't like we was joining up without nothing to contribute. Any kind of luck at all, we can pick off the Portland. Full cargo from the Indies.
We got inside information.
Isn't going to be like it was before, though. I want that understood. I'm in charge now. I'm giving the orders.
Aye, we agrees to that, right? You gives the orders. But I tell you what orders to give, eh?
Confound it, Senator. If these Mooncussers operated out of some foreign port and sank American ships, you'd waste no time at all. You'd declare a state of war.
That's not the point.
Just because it's right here in our own backyard, you seem to think it's not important.
Perhaps if you'd be a little more factual.
All right. Would you come with me, please? Here's where our ships head toward Long Island Sound. On a dark night out here, they start watching for Montauk Light so they can round it here. But here's where the Mooncussers set up their false light. And a captain, if he's fooled, heads in here. Ships are wrecked. Lives are lost. Usually, they wait for the crew to abandon ship. But they have been known to clamber aboard and fight it out. Well, Senator?
Trouble is, anything like this, when it requires an appropriation, it takes time.
Time? Well, we haven't got time. My son is down there right now doing what he can. Trying to see that we don't lose another ship and drive our company into bankruptcy.
Oh, now, Mr. Hallett, we'll proceed as rapidly as we can.
I'll tell you one thing, gentlemen. I'm getting mighty tired of just sitting here and doing nothing but talk. Now, Senator.
Good night, gentlemen.
Steady, Ebony. Steady, boy.
Come over here, boy. Well, how are you, Ebony, old boy? Hey, what are you doing? That's no horse for a boy to be riding.
Gee, Willikers, you must be Dan's pa, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He told me there was just 3 people in the whole world Ebony liked. Him, his pa, and me.
Dan knows you're riding him?
Sure, me and Dan's partners. Did you hear about the Portland?
She's already come up the coast?
Yep, Mooncussers almost got her, too. Except for me and Dan and Mr. Hawk.
She's all right then, huh?
Probably cleaning to New London by now. Come by here last night.
And you helped, you say, boy, huh? Well, you'll have to tell me all about that. Hey, what's your name, son?
Jonathan Feather.
Feather, huh? Must be who Feather's horse named for, right?
Not me, sir. My pa.
No. All right, you lead the way, Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
Betsy?
Hello, Dan.
Dan?
Mr. Hawk?
Mr. Hallett?
Stacy?
Morning.
Miss Betsy?
How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Morning, Mr. Moles. Dan back yet?
I just saw him go inside.
This here's Dan's pa.
How do you do, sir?
Hi, O.D.B. Hallett.
Thank you. Hey, Dan, your pa's here.
Jonathan? Sounds like you got a weasel in your hen house. Gotta go take a look.
We ain't never had no weasels around here. Not that I've ever seen.
Dad, got good news.
I heard all about it. Young Jonathan there told me. Son?
I checked with the sheriff. They got a real good chance now of finding out who the Mooncussers are, following up the 3 men who got killed last night.
Dan? I won't be satisfied till I see every last one of them hanging from a yard arm. What have you found out so far?
Well, one of them's off a whaler. The other 2 are itinerant workers at the fishery.
Now, first thing to do, I want to say my thanks to Mr. Walt for helping to save the Portland. He's still around, isn't he?
Well, he and Stacy went out just a minute ago. They probably went down the beach.
Well, I'll go find him if you want.
You do that, will you, lad?
Mr. Hawk! Mr. Stacy! Somebody here to see ya! Mr. Hawk! Mr. Stacy!
There's one thing sure, the way these Mooncussers operate, the way they handle their small boats and board a ship that's breaking up. They gotta be real seamen.
That sounds reasonable.
So as soon as I get back to New York, I'm gonna dig through the records and see what I can find out on some of them.
Well, I better do that for you because you're not going right back to New York.
What?
You see, a group of us got together and we've come up with a scheme that's going to put those Mooncussers right out of business. That's what I want to talk to you about.
I called you together because we got trouble. Real trouble. Old E.P. Hallett arrived today.
That could be embarrassing to quite a few of our group.
What about old man Hallett? I don't know what you're getting at.
Old E.P. Hallett. A few years back, some of us tries to take one of old Hallett's ships. He catched us at it and drove us off. And he ain't one to forget. There's going to be more snooping around, more questions asked.
And I say let's quit while we're ahead. Pack up and get out of here.
That's right. If old Pinchgut here ever could afford as good as he can run, he would have been bigger than Captain Kidd, eh?
I don't know, though. There ain't no sense to wait around here till they come and catch us.
Somebody's coming! Somebody's coming! Someone's coming!
Probably the sheriff. Anybody with him?
There's 2 men on horses.
All of you, get out of sight.
There's Leon found here.
Now you go back out there, and you act natural, and if he wants you, bring him in here. The rest of you, stay hidden. Watch out in case there's trouble. Get down!
Well, Mr. Hallett.
Mr. Ware.
E.P. Hallett. Sheriff must have brought the old barnacle here for some reason.
It's your first time here.
That's right, Mr. Wake.
Can I show you around?
Thank you.
Mr. Hawk, Mr. Stacy, what are you doing here? We've been looking all over for you most of the day.
See you at the inn, laddie, eh?
Wait a minute. Hey, Dan, guess who's here? Hey, Dan, come see. Look who's here.
Well, Mr. Hawk.
You must have got the same idea I did, eh? Trying to find out something. Where them 2 Mooncussers worked, eh?
My father was here. He wanted to see you. Thank you for your part in saving the Portland.
Was here? Has he left?
He's got a lot of things to do.
Would have liked to meet you, Pa, but of course I'm not the one what needs to be thanked for doing me simple Christian duty.
Come on in. I've been talking to people up and down the beach, trying to get their cooperation in a program set up by the ship owners and underwriters.
Well, what kind of a program?
They're going to set up a string of life-saving stations not more than 10 miles apart all along the shore.
Oh, like they got in Blighty, eh?
Well, there's a little more to it than that, Mr. Hawk.
Just leave it alone, boy. You might hurt yourself.
There'll be lights atop these stations so that no ship's captain or crew can ever again mistake the shore for the entrance to the sound. Now, in case a ship does head in, there'll be flares that could be sent up to warn her off. Once these stations are built, there'll be nowhere for the Mooncussers ever to wreck another ship.
Aye, aye. Make the sea safe for honest seafaring man. Well, any proper man would be pleased to help with that, eh?
Can we count on your help, Mr. Wake?
Money, manpower, anything you need, you just come to me and...
Fine. Come on, Jonathan.
Meet me late at the cove.
No, we waited long enough. You men take whatever cash you've got and scatter. I'm going to try to sell the fishery. Have to be careful. Too many people asking questions.
Hey, Wick. It's Hawk and Stacy.
Anything I ever said against old E.P. Hallett, I takes it all back. He leaves orders for Dan to stay and see that the station is built proper. And when she's done, I'm the one what's to be left in charge, while old E.P. pays me salary out in his own pocket. It's me reward for helping to save the Portland.
You end up with a job, but what about us? Don't you realize what it means, building that station?
Aye, and don't you realize what it means with me left in charge? We can get us one more ship before we scatters to the four winds.
One more ship?
Aye, and with me getting daily reports, we can pick and choose. Make sure we get the richest prize of all.
Stay tuned. Walt Disney Presents will be right back.
Hey guys, it's Katerina from the Movie Surfers, and you're not going to believe your eyes when you see Disney's new epic adventure, Dinosaur. In the movie's explosive opening, a meteor shower forces a herd of dinosaurs on a dangerous journey to find a new home.
Whoa,
Those dinosaurs look real.
Computer-generated characters and real backgrounds from all over the world were combined to create a totally unique look.
We're on it.
When you look at Dinosaur, you will not know what kind of movie it is. Is it a live-action movie? Is it an animated movie? What's the technique used to make it?
The technique used to create Dinosaur is unlike any other. In many ways, it's two techniques in one. First, no less than 48 animators used computers to generate lifelike characters. Then real backgrounds were shot all over the world, from Australia to Venezuela to Hawaii, and the characters were added into this totally real world. They even invented a new filming technique to give the audience a carnotaur's point of view. When the filmmakers combine the real backgrounds with the animated characters, the results are spectacular.
No one's ever really told the entire story through CG animated characters that are set into a live-action background.
Don't miss the epic experience when Dinosaur comes to theaters May 19th.
Walt Disney presents the newly restored version everyone's talking about, The Happiest Millionaire.
By George, it's remarkable.
We did this restoration in 1998. And we spent 7 months working on it.
With new scenes added, it's the most complete version to date.
One of my favorite numbers was Bam Bum Bam.
Hum, bum, bye. It's the world television premiere.
What a nice surprise.
Of Disney's fully restored The Happiest Millionaire, Sunday at 9/8 Central inside Walt Disney. And now, back to Walt Disney Presents, right here on Disney.
Thank you, madam. And with the violence of the elements, combined with the treachery of men who deliberately wreck our ships, we've lost as many as 1,500 men in a single year along our seacoast. But that era is ending now, thanks to the establishment of stations such as this and contributions of people like you. There's one thing more you need, and that's a messenger and an official helper for the new station. So I'll tell you what they did in Fire Island. They held a drawing. Now, all boys interested, put their names on a slip of paper.
Excuse me, Mrs. Feather.
I don't need no help except you.
Come on, boys, don't crowd in. I'll get you a piece of paper. Hurry up.
Could I have a piece of paper, please, Mr. Wick? Thank you. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Hawk.
Just a minute, Commissioner. Can I speak to you? Of course. I hadn't mentioned this even to Hawk, but I want to put Jonathan Feather on as a messenger and official helper.
Dan, you can't do that. Just make up your own mind.
He's a good boy. I know he can be trusted. And besides, I'm not quite satisfied.
But all these people, they helped to put up the station. You can't just shut them out of it. No, Dan, I'm sorry.
Well, one thing I sure don't need. Some young swab underfoot, ready to blow the gas every time he hears something.
Maybe I can handle a drawing. Draw Willie's name.
Are there any other boys who don't have a piece of paper? All right, boys, come on, hurry up. Write your names so we can put them in Mr. Henry's hat. And we can have a drawing.
Wait! Folks, what we need is a messenger who can cover the most ground in the least possible time, right? Could be a matter of life or death. So why wouldn't it be better and a lot more fun to have a race?
All right, we'll work it out. Let's have some men over here lay out a course and serve as judges.
Go get your horses, boys.
Commissioner, I'd like to volunteer my services.
Well, thank you, Mr. Wick.
Me too.
Jonathan, where's Mr. Hawk?
The last time I saw him, he was with Mr. Wick.
I'm beginning to wonder. Jonathan, you got to get in there and win that race.
On Sertorius?
No, on Ebony.
Yippee!
Only one will give me any trouble. Jonathan Feathers, if he rides that black.
Hey, fellas! You might as well go home. Me and Ebony will be there and back before you even get started.
One thing I tell you, you win that race.
Jonathan, you gotta win that race. It's important. I'm depending on you.
You don't have to worry none.
I'll make you an offer. Something I've been thinking about anyhow. You win that race, and Ebony's all yours to keep.
You mean it? For really? Gee willikers. Come on, boy.
All right, now, boys, here's what you do. Right from here, down along the beach to Beckett Point.
Then cut inland till you come to the fork in the road that leads to Feather's Nest. Know the one I mean?
Yes, sir.
All right, take that fork and head for the inn. Mr. Wick will be there. Give each of you a silver dollar. Soon as you get it, ride back here.
Mister, do we take the same way back?
Son, you just come back the fastest way you know how. Soon as you reach me, dismount, run to the bell, and ring it. First boy to ring the bell, will collect the dollars from the others. Be allowed to keep them.
You better not win or I'll bash your head in.
How you gonna do that if you can't catch me?
All right now, boys, let's have a good race. Are you ready? Let's go!
You dropped it.
No, he didn't. You did. You dropped the dollar on purpose. I saw you.
Now, Miss Betsy.
Betsy, please help me find the dollar I needed to win the race. Betsy, it fell right in here someplace.
Here you are. Now go on, Willie. Win that race.
Oh, Betsy, we gotta find it.
I'm trying, Jonathan.
Oh, Betsy, they're both ahead of me now.
To show that there's no hard feelings, Miss Betsy, I'll help you find it.
Here it is, Jonathan.
Give me a boost, Betsy.
There you go, Jonathan.
I know
Hurry
you
up,
had
you
a
can
ring.
win. Here it is. Come on, Jonathan.
Yeah!
You mean old...
You better collect your silver dollars from the other two riders, because we're going to send you on your first official trip.
Come on, Willie. Here, Mom.
All right, Jonathan. Each day, you're to ride into Fordham's Tavern, pick up a sealed envelope left there by the stage from New York. That's the latest shipping reports, ships and cargoes. Now, I don't need to tell you what might happen if it fell into the wrong hands. Mooncussers, for example. So you guard it carefully, bring it here to the station, give it to Mr. Hawk. Nobody else, understand?
Yes, sir. Hey, Dan, is Ebony really all mine now?
It's all yours, Jonathan.
Oh.
Up.
Well, I guess I better get going. Bye.
Bye.
Dan, pleasure to see you again.
Me too, Commissioner. Thank you.
Come on, boy.
Ships expected to pass tonight.
There's our chance. I could round up the men, get them down to the cove. Clouds are moving in real good. We could...
Aye. Good dark night. Might have a chance to catch some Mooncussers, eh?
Wow. I guess I better be going now. I told you.
Oh, no, you don't. He knows.
And if he don't, you're gonna make sure of it.
You're not a Mooncusser. Are you, Mr. Hawk?
It wasn't my idea, laddie, to have you mixed up in this. Be a lot better for everybody if you hadn't won that blinking race, eh? Here. We were making this for you. Here, take it, laddie. Time up. Go tell the others. We moves tonight.
Stay tuned. Walt Disney Presents will be right back.
Sometimes to dream is to imagine the impossible.
I can be whatever I want to be. Your father filled your head with silly thoughts and dreams that'll never come true. Never.
To wish
I wish I could go to the ball.
that someday your dream will come true.
Who are you?
The most beloved fairy tale of all.
Believe in yourself, Cinderella.
Starring Brandy in Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. Thursday at 7, 6 Central, followed by Alley Cat Strike, only on Disney.
Hey, Bo Wyrick here, behind the ears with Disney. Today we're on location with 2 Hour Tour, a new show that takes big-name bands and lets them pick an unknown group to open their show. Today we're with the guys from 98 Degrees.
98 Degrees are here?
Here's how it works. 98 Degrees looks at videotapes of 7 local bands.
They're the winners.
Then they narrow it down to 3. That's where the show 2 Hour Tour comes in. Those 3 bands will audition for 98 Degrees to open up for their next concert.
That's something we've been trying to do for a long time, is really kind of give a leg up to people who are trying to break into the business.
This is a huge shot at finally making it big. It's a tough call.
Everyone did a great job.
But only one act will take the big stage.
It's exciting for us to see their enthusiasm and see them going through the same things that we, went through a few years ago.
So check out 98 Degrees and their pick for an opening act when you watch the new Disney Channel original music series 2-Hour Tour.
Catch the newest episode of 2-Hour Tour with 98 Degrees all this month. Then keep watching for new shows with LFO, Savage Garden, Enrique Iglesias, and more.
Take the tour.
2-Hour Tour, part of Zoo Weekends.
And now, back to Walt Disney Presents, right here on Disney.
Well, messenger or no messenger, I'm not going to have him miss his meals.
Probably the stagecoach was late.
Maybe.
Wait a minute, please. I want to get to the bottom of this. Are you sure Mr. Wick dropped the dollar on purpose? It wasn't Jonathan?
It don't matter. Jonathan won anyhow.
Mrs. Feather, it does matter. There's something here, and I want to get to the bottom of it. Betsy?
All right. There's no question. Mr. Wick did everything he possibly could to keep Jonathan from winning.
You said Mr. Wick arrived about 3 years ago and took over the fishery. Is that about the time of the first Mooncusser activity?
I don't know. I didn't pay much attention. Ain't none of my business. Nor yours either, Betsy.
Why don't you tell him? You know as well as anybody. Mr. Wick arrived here and the mooncussing activity started. All about the same time. Everybody knows it, and everybody's afraid to talk.
So much for Mr. Wick. Now there's a few things I'd like Mr. Hawk to explain.
Bring the boy out. You wait there now at the fishery till we get there.
Stacy!
Wait till we seize the ship, and we flashes you the signal. When you sees the ship hit the reef, you'll head for the cove as fast as you can come, eh?
I've got to see Dan. It's important.
Dan rode down to the life-saving station, Mr. Hallett.
Oh, of all times not to be here. You're Mr. Wick, the man who runs the fishery. He's a fugitive, convicted of piracy. Dan wanted me to check on that.
Mr. Henry, Moss, quick, round up everybody you can get. Dad, glad you're here.
I want to finish my soup. What in tarnation's the matter?
It's Jonathan, isn't it?
The Mooncussers got him. Hurry! Now, he'll be all right. We'll get him back. It's not quite as bad as it sounds.
Oh, you're hurt.
Why, Mr. Hallett, what a nice surprise. What's the matter?
Everything is all right, Mrs. Feather. There's nothing to worry about.
Something's happened to Jonathan. Now, Mother.
What is it? Tell me.
He's gonna be all right. I promise you.
Never figured we'd have to move so fast. Would rather come at it more cautious-like. But there's one thing I've learned in my years, to smell trouble brewing.
Dan Hallett knew what he was doing, rigging that race this afternoon to make sure putting young Feather here in his messenger, to keep an eye on things.
Catherine Kay, small two-sticker. But she's carrying an uncommon amount of gold. Lesson she's dragging lead, she ought to be here for daylight.
We can divide fast and scatter fast, because we'll never have another chance after tonight.
What about him?
Well, we shouldn't try to be too smart this time. Just throw him in the drink.
When I leaves, I takes the lad with me. Slip him aboard a whaler that's moving out to sea.
If he talks, we all hang.
He'll be to sea for 6 months. Time he gets back, devil himself shouldn't find none of us.
Well, he ruined it for us the last time. Upset the fire barrel and put out the light. I don't think we should give him another chance like that. I still got bruises where he butts me like a billy goat.
Now, let's get down to the cove. Get ready. You knows what you have to do. Right down around the point, leave us know when you see her.
Wait a minute. Some of the men were talking last night. They seem to think things went better when I was giving the orders. Too many things have gone wrong since you moved in and took over.
If you'd ask me, I'd say there ain't nothing going right. Not so far.
Whose side are you on?
I'm with you.
I'm with you. I happens to like the boy, and I plans to take care of him proper. And more than that, I've lived my whole life and never give in to a pack of bilge rats like you, and I ain't starting now.
You can't do much, only one shot.
I can put a ball between your eyebrows, eh? What that does after that, you'll never live to find out.
Well, it's your neck too, Hawk.
Mr. Hawk, to the likes of you.
Yeah. But if he should talk, you might hang with the rest of us.
Well, what do you want to do? Talk here all night, or get the gold?
Go.
Well, that's better. We leaves the boy here tied up. Then after we splits up the gold...
Riders coming down the beach. Must become 100 of them riding like crazy.
Close that door. Put boxes in front of it. Barricade the windows. Get your guns before the end.
If you wants to keep alive, lad, keep out of sight. Dames come in to be trusted.
Upstairs, take a round back.
Yeah. All right, now get that in there. Yeah. All right, hold him up.
Mr. Harlan!
Oh, you scoundrel.
No, Mr. Howell, he saved my life. He stuck up for me. Them others, they were gonna kill me.
Thank you, lad.
Dan, I'm sorry I couldn't make it for the dedication.
At least you got here for the fun.
I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
What's gonna happen to Mr. Hogg?
He's a pirate. They'll hang him.
Oh, he'll be given a fair trial. I have a feeling somehow he's going to get himself appointed foreman of the jury.
Goodbye, Dan.
Have a nice trip, Dad.
Thank you. See you back at the office. Bye, Betsy.
Goodbye, Mr.
Jonathan?
Hogg. Nice to have had
Bye,
you.
Mr. Howell.
Thank you for all your help.
Come back and visit us.
Thank you. Goodbye.
What you staying around here for? Figure there's some more Mooncussers around?
Jonathan, the moon wasn't made just for cussing.
Soon as we get back, I want you to come over to the station with me. Show me how you climbed up the outside.
How about a race back to the barn?
All right.
On your mark, get set, go.
They sure are mixed up. That ain't no shortcut. Come on, Ebony. Yeah.